let me start off with saying that this was a complete accident. I did not mean to do this, but I'm extremely happy that I did because it ended up with something incredible. For a little background on what actually happened was originally today I was talking about this one kind of thing. It was a scope for a type of gun, and I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And one of my family members had ordered it for something, and like it was, it was pretty cool. But like it hooks up to a Picatinny rail, and what happens with that is it's a certain thing at the top of the gun, it goes on top. And it was really funny because I thought I had an old Nerf gun that, had a fake Picatinny rail on it that I could, like, hook up the scope to and take a photo of myself, be like, oh, I got the ultimate Nerf gun, because it would have a scope on it, But it turned out it didn't have that, but I actually did remember a video that I was watching the other day by this one Australian YouTuber that goes by the name of I Did a Thing. And randomly in the video, he was talking about dangerous things. And he was talking about how he was upset that people had taken a little plastic rod and put them inside of a Nerf gun. And it makes it so that he can't shoot his darts at a fun speed. And then he went on with the rest of his video like nothing happened, which got me thinking, what happens if you do that? This is where our wonderful story begins, where today I proceeded to take this tiny gun that I remembered having. It's only one Nerf dart, It's not even an actual Nerf gun, it's like an off-brand thing. But it still fires the same foam darts. And what ended up happening was I tried to, the thing that I did was I took needle nose pliers, right? And I proceeded to take it and then try to twist the rod out. That didn't necessarily work because the pliers were too big to go all the way down the barrel. So I ended up taking the thing apart, and then on the inside I took the wires and I clamped them and I crushed the plastic, which opened up the entire thing, and that did something good. I'm gonna take apart the thing real quick just so I can show you what I mean, but let me tell you, it is incredible. So the mechanism of this thing is pretty straightforward. You have the trigger, which pushes this backwards, and then it pushes this up the ramp that this little thing has into here. So when you pull this back, it exposes a tiny little rim, and that goes behind this little area here, and the spring pushes this part down, which holds it in place. And that keeps the gun cocked until you push the trigger, which then pushes the thing back up and releases it forward. Now, what ended up happening was inside here, at the very end of the gun, there is a tiny little thing. This whole thing with the little 4-pronged area is its own separate piece, which had a smaller rim with little holes in it to let air escape through, because there's a big spring on the inside, which is that, and it coils up, and then when you pull it back, it pushes forward, releases air pressure, and then fires the projectile forward. But the thing that happens is that when you remove the little plastic rod and that little sheet of plastic and then just make the holes one big hole, it releases all of the air pressure in a single massive wave that fires things like 10 times faster or 10 times the weight. Now that's just an approximation, but it has a lot more power behind it, and it actually makes such a large difference that you can fire things that have actual, good weight to them instead of actually just the tiny little foam Nerf guns. So it's very nice what you can do with this. And you probably think, well, yeah, that's great and all, but what does that have to do with saying inventing the world's best Nerf gun? Well, I may not have invented it, but I did make this specific thing have the ability to fire something that's much more impactful than a Nerf dart. A steel ball. See, what happened was I was trying to look for a Nerf dart to fire to emulate the thing that he said, oh yeah, you can't fire them at a fun speed, so I want to see how fast or how, what's the speed that you can fire them. And I couldn't find a Nerf dart, but I did find this, which fit the, the diameter of the gun pretty well. It just, you have, there's a tiny bit of space in there, but it's not enough to cause a large amount of, resistance to it. In short, it fires far. Not Nerf gun far, but for the fact that this is a literal, it's a metal ball, a solid metal ball. With just air pressure behind a single spring, that is insane for this thing to be able to fire it the amount that it does, which is I don't know, 5 6 feet or so, and it comes out with some power too. It I tried to fire it at myself with a shirt on, and it you don't really feel it as much, and especially when it's your upper body is one of the areas that has the most cushioning to it. So why would that work? I mean, that just doesn't make sense. So I figured, hey, why don't I fire it at my knee? And oh my god, it was like getting punched in the knee, and I was honestly kind of shocked at the fact that it had that much power behind it. I knew it was a steel ball, but I didn't think that much air pressure was built up behind that one spring. In short, though, the thing is amazing. I already have the gun cocked, but I'm gonna roll the thing into the chamber, and then you'll see that it literally shot it across. You saw it. This bed is I think this is maybe 7 feet, maybe 6, because I know I'm 6'3", and this bed is definitely longer than me, so I'm pretty sure the bed's 7. So that about 6 feet that just fired. Now you'll see all those videos of kids getting shot with Nerf guns and them freaking out. They're like, oh, it hurts so bad. But most people, they're not really gonna be that horrifyingly just scared of this tiny little gun that fires a regular Nerf dart. But when you have, say, a regular Nerf dart put into that and you fire it, that's genuinely a cause for worry. The fact that it can fire a steel bearing that far, and I know that 6 feet isn't a lot, but keep in mind that it's a solid ball. You need to transfer air, the energy from that air to a ball to launch it forward. If I can see if that was maybe made of lighter material like the clay that I use, that would make sense. But this is metal. It doesn't absorb impact, or it absorbs impact, but it doesn't tend to move a lot. You don't really have a good chance of firing it far. So 6 feet, in my personal opinion, is amazing for how small this thing is. I'm going to look for a Nerf dart later on, probably tomorrow, because it's later at night now, and my family's mostly trying to head off to bed or just wind down. So I'll look for that later. But if I can find it, you better believe that I'm gonna shoot Sir Speedo with it as soon as he comes back here next time, because I cannot fathom how incredible that works now. Literally, if I can find anything to fit the diameter of this, it will shoot it across the room. That if it's I was going to use a chapstick container earlier, and that didn't work because it was too wide. But if I can find something thinner, and maybe something that I can make myself, if I make a clay projectile, I'm golden. I can't believe it. I learned this thing can also fire sticks of chalk. This is amazing. I just loaded this in, right? And I put it directly into there. And if I cock it, right? Look at this. Do you see that? What if we try 2 metal balls? I have another one here. If I can grab this and I can load that into the chamber with it, what's going to happen? I'm expecting to get a call from NASA soon to help me, for me to help them with their expertise in rocket science. In all seriousness, I think it's hilarious the fact that you can literally just remove the plastic rod from one of these Nerf guns and you can get it to fire literally more weight than 10 Nerf darts combined and at a faster speed. It's amazing. So I'm definitely going to look into that more. And if I can get one of those big Nerf guns that have the rotary bits to them, that you have no idea the power and the amazement that will come from that. Well, I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble about this. It was definitely a fun time indeed, and I hope you have a good rest of your night, and well, I will see in the next video. That sounds like a weird YouTube remark, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, regardless, have a good rest of your night, and goodbye.